This is a give and take race.
Number 26, McMurray takes the lead. Oh, Hamlin!
Teammates Denny Hamlin and Tony Stewart.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. gets turned around here at the start-finish line.
Jamie McMurray has run down the pit lane, a pass-through penalty, because he went beneath the yellow line while trying to pass.
Whoa! And that was, see that coming.
Hit the wall of time.
Now we're going to see what happens.
You know it's not that fresh tires will help the speed of the car. It just helps you be able to maneuver. And trust me, when it gets down to the end, you better be able to maneuver.
After 400 miles, it's going to be decided by inches. Here they come at the line. Jamie McMurray by inches wins it. McMurray by 5/1000ths of a second wins the Pepsi 400 at Daytona.
You're right, it was exciting. A couple days later, it's still exciting to watch that finish. And we'll watch it yet again tonight on Inside Nextel Cup as we review the 49th running of the Pepsi 400 with our panel of experts here. Nice to have Greg Biffle back this evening, the driver of the number 16 Dish Network Ford without a single speeding ticket this weekend. Congratulations.
That was very nice. Yeah. I was very nervous about the pit road speed, but the reality was it was on the dashboard this week and just
you had
did what it said.
You had a good finish. That was a good race for you.
It was.
We'll get to that. Brian Vickers, welcome back. The Red Bull Toyota number 83 was running great right up to the point where it got run into right there at the end.
Yes, that will always do it to you.
Yeah.
We were okay. We weren't as good as we wanted to be, but we were a top 15 car. I felt like at least maybe a top 10, and then the 13 got into us and got us into the wall, and it was pretty much done after that.
Michael Waltrip, always a pleasure. You are part of our first headline story this weekend. We're going to go back to Friday qualifying. Mm-hmm. First of all, say hi and tell us how happy you are to be here.
Exactly.
It's raining on Friday in qualifying. There are, 14 cars to go, and you're right up there in the thick of the fight, and Ced's on the pole, and everybody goes home mad, or what's the outcome of this? A lot of fans were mad.
Well, you go there knowing the rules, and pretty much a precedent was set a couple years ago where they call qualifying off. It's off, and it's not going to be extended, and there's no use in worrying about it. And so I just hoped that it would quit raining so they could finish up qualifying, because I knew they had to drive the track anyway for the Busch race, but it just never did. So it's just part of it. It's the rules, and it's the rules we have to live by. And NASCAR does a pretty nice job running the series for the last 50-some years. And while it doesn't always work out in your favor, it's fair. And what's fair is fair. And I wasn't in.
I was glad it kept raining.
You see, he was out.
I was out. I wouldn't have been in otherwise.
Well, and a lot of people were confused about that. Well, why is Vickers in? Explain why you were in.
Well, basically, during a rain out, it goes back to winners from the previous year, past champions, and then the rest of the points, the guys in the points. And we were in the top 43 in points anyhow. And also we had the win from last year as well, which also locked us into the show during the rain.
And the people who were confused because both past champions, Bill Elliott and DJ, both were in the race. There's only one champion's provisional under normal circumstances. When qualifying is rained out, all the past champions win. Am I right about that?
Yep.
That, and also the car that DJ's in's in the top 43 in points too, so he would have been in one way or the other as well. So it's a complicated process. A lot of people would like to see the cars that have to qualify on time glop together.
Yeah.
They all go out first, or they all go out last. Or maybe NASCAR, if they do decide there's not time to get qualifying in, maybe they lock in the top 35 and they let the star cars go qualify at some point. Work in the time for them to go qualify. But schedules are so tight. We all have suggestions. We certainly think that the top 35 rule, in my opinion, now has passed its time. There's too many good cars that are showing up to have 35 locked in. There should be less than that, somewhere between none and 25 maybe. But we all have those opinions.
We'll see if that.
I think the main thing that fans are disappointed about is this. It just got rained out. Fans want to see it. They came to see it, and it gets rained out. There's nothing you can do.
And they want to see their favorite guy in. I mean, everybody has a favorite driver. We need to move on. Spend a lot of time on that one. We're going to move on to the fact that next year's Daytona 500 will be a sprint car race. That should get some people's attention. The series name officially changing at the end of the season. It'll be the Sprint Cup. As long as the point fund money remains the same, do you guys care the tiniest little bit?
Not a bit. I love that new logo, that little swoosh in there.
I think that it's good. I mean, everybody's known for some time that Sprints, bought up Nextel, and they've been one company, and the Sprint Cup sounds good.
Yeah.
How about the broadcast? We've heard so many complaints over the years from fans. There are just too many commercials. So Saturday night, TNT took that on head on. It wasn't commercial free. They had to take the local commercial breaks for something like 4 minutes an hour. And then they did these in-screen, to split screen, whatever you will, picture-in-picture commercials, but never left the race. And still lots of people were complaining. I guess maybe you just can't make everybody happy.
I guess.
Have to be pay-per-view, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Somebody has to pay for the broadcast.
Sure.
That's ultimately.
And the teams really benefit from the TV package. I mean, I know NASCAR does too, but the teams get a tremendous amount of the money that they count on to race their cars through those commercials being shown on TV, whether it's a Domino's commercial or a Burger King commercial or Napa or Aaron's.
You're so good at this.
I mean, it doesn't matter whose it is. Those
it
commercials.
Could be Red Bull or even Dish Network.
It could be, but those commercials help pay the fact the Aaron's commercials on TV. Brian and Greg benefit from it.
Yeah, the TV money is split among promoters, teams, sanctioning bodies.
I mean, I didn't get a chance to obviously watch the race live, but when I have seen. When they've done that, ESPN does that a lot, like when they show some of the open wheel stuff. I like that. I like the fact that they still show you the race. I don't need the audio, but at least I have an idea what's going on. I get to see the rundown, but I still see the commercials.
Nope.
And you're always going to be drawn to the commercials a little bit, and that's fine. That's what they're there for.
Now, what is this ESPN? Is that something new? I don't know.
I've never seen that channel.
Let's get our picture of the week thing. But there was, by the way, a big race in addition to all the other stuff.
And this is the greatest picture of the week we've had.
And what a finish we had leading to that.
Look at that Coca-Cola that he sprayed. I don't choose to spray mine. I like to drink it. But and all the confetti and the Darlington stripe at Daytona.
Lettering going off the rear tire.
That just shows you the action that was there Saturday night.
And if you'd like to have that picture,
what do you do?
All you have to do is send an email to the show here. Go to the INC page at speedtv.com. Put on the subject line number 26. That'll be the winning car number.
What if I wanted to really win and I send in 20 emails?
Oh, no. You can't do that, Michael. If you send more than one, you'll be disqualified.
2 gets me disqualified.
Two gets you disqualified. Any more than one gets you disqualified. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
We need a commercial break. We have traveled on long enough. Hey, teammates tangle while leading the race, and Junior gets caught up in it. That's all bad, isn't it? And the eventual winner goes out of bounds, but makes it a catch-up kind of night.
Inside Nextel Cup is presented by Nextel, only from Sprint, helping NASCAR Nextel Cup fans get more done. And brought to you in part by Z-Max, performance you can feel.
Think back to when you were a child. What did you dream of as you fell asleep? Space travel? Or maybe you dreamed of a magic screen you could carry in your pocket. A screen that held your favorite music, pictures, and stories. And that brought all of this to you at the speed of light. That was your dream. And with the magic of Sprint Speed, it all came true.
Man, 300,000 parts? That's incredible. Where do they all come from?
Watch this.
Oh, hey, Michael.
Hi, Jeannie.
Well, what can I do you for?
About 50,000 Napa Gold air filters.
Wow. I want $1 billion and a pet monkey.
He's not that kind of genie, Dale.
Well, I guess it's Mr. Man from now on, huh? You know, an event like this deserves something truly special.
adrenaline. This weekend, get a rush with speed with the ARCA Remax Series and the Rolex Sports Car Series. It all begins Friday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Speed. High-octane racing, high-octane news and information, only at speedtv.com.
As noted, Bud Pole qualifying rained out on Friday. Jeff Gordon started up front based on his leadership in the championship. Second time this year that's happened with that Let's Talk Racing. We heard over and over and over again that the Daytona track was slippery, slippery, slippery. That means the cars are hard to control. And you know what that leads to, right? We'll start our clips with the first wreck of the night.
I watched this wreck, and I really never understood why it happened. Well, I do understand they ran into each other. But it appeared that Jeff was minding his own business, and Casey sort of crowded into him. And then Jeff gets torn up, and despite, there it is, watch.
Boom.
I guess it was sort of 50-50.
It was probably 50-50.
Would you say 50-50?
I would say 50-50.
That car, mind you, see that car scraping on the fence?
That's what I was going to say.
He finished 9th.
But, despite all that, he finished in the top 10.
Here's Vickers' view. Well, I guess we didn't see much of Vickers' view.
You know, and I think the reason that being you wouldn't see that at Talladega, a car that tore up finish that well. But I think at Daytona, as long as your car is handling these days, that's almost more important than how slick the body is.
Well, plus the air never really sees the body. You know, when you're drafting and racing, if you're handling good and you can get tucked in and have somebody behind you, you're fine.
That's why when people say the car drafts well or it runs good in the draft, what they mean by that is it handles well. It doesn't go very good by itself because it's not very slick, like you talked about.
But if the wind's not touching it, it doesn't matter if it's slick.
Right.
Aside from the finish, probably the most memorable moment of the 49th Pepsi 400 will be this one. It's got a lot of people talking. You got your teammates leading the race, Denny Hamlin out front. And then, guess what happens next?
I think they're going to have some contact from the back of to the front.
Tony Stewart pursuing his teammate, colliding with his teammate, and then crashing with his teammate.
Well, at least it didn't take anybody else out. That's the good thing.
Dale Jr.
Not yet.
Oh.
That particular part of the wreck didn't. But
Dale
then there's this.
Dale Jr. and Reed. Did we ever get a real good view of why those two got into it so hard?
Well, this should be good.
Not these two.
Yeah, I think he just hit him.
Oh, he definitely just hit him. But he proclaimed on TV that Denny checked up, and then I heard Denny get interviewed, and he said I wasn't handling like I wanted to, and I had began to check up in the corner. So
it did look like he got a little loose, and he probably checked up, but that means that you have to check up as well. I mean, it happens fast.
When you see in the back of his car dancing around, you got to kind of be a little careful.
It's kind of hard to figure out what happened, how the 41 and the 8. A lot of people went through there before those crashed.
Guys, yeah. How much of that has to do with the visibility?
You just wonder where they happened to be and what their spotter said.
Maybe the fact that they ended up going together like this. One wanted to go to pit road, and one wanted to stay on the track.
Good idea. I heard the spotter of Dale saying pit road. So I'm sure
he was trying to go there, and the other one was trying to go racetrack.
So Tony should have lifted.
Yeah. I mean, it does happen fast.
You
You're 200 miles an hour. You're at Daytona, yes. But when you see the guy in front of you, the back of the car moving around, well, you got to expect that a little bit. He might lift, and then you got to lift, or you go around him. You don't just.
You could hear Tony's in-car camera. You could hear Tony come off the gas, but it was too late.
No.
Tony was close and came off the gas. It was too late.
Tis a game of inches.
It is.
Where are we? The meatball flag, I guess, is next for the guy who eventually won the race. We'll have a look at how this came about. It's Jamie McMurray, and he will go out of bounds.
Well, this is a classic example of out of bounds that you cannot do, and he didn't correct himself. He's clearly out of bounds. He could have rolled out of the gas, chose not to.
Let's listen.
You got to pass through. I guess you went below the yellow line somewhere. You're going to have a pass-through penalty here. Say that again now. They gave you a penalty for going below the yellow line. You're going to have to pass through on pit road. All right, this time? Yes, sir. I'd go ahead and come this time. Do not speed, 3,900.
Well, that was as calm as I've seen anyone ever take a penalty.
I think he knew.
But it certainly would have been avoidable. You can go under that line, and once you get there and you realize you're there, you just let off.
Okay, but
I think he knew.
Say you complete the pass. He has to give back the spot, but how soon does he have to give it back? Immediately? Next lap?
I've
next
never
week?
seen it. I've always assumed that as soon as I know I'm out of bounds and I'm passing somebody, even if I got forced there, I'm not going to complete the pass. NASCAR has the right to penalize the guy that forces me there. In that case, he wasn't forced. He just ran out of room.
He ran out of room.
And at that point, when he saw he's out of bounds, he should have let off.
But if he doesn't, if he goes ahead and passes him, can he then move over and let the guy back and he's okay or not?
If he did it immediately, he'd probably get away with it. But he has to do it right away.
I don't think he got a choice to wait around.
It's not several laps, but I think if he would have if he completed the pass and he came off turn 2, pulled over and let the guy go, I don't think NASCAR
He might have been okay. Yeah. All right.
Let's try that. Let's see. Let's
check it out.
Talladega. Why don't you guys take turns running out of bounds and see when they start?
See how long it takes them to penalize us.
Do you go half a lap, 3/4?
Yeah, just see how far you can go.
We'll think of it as an INC science project. Now we're going to need a commercial break, so let's do that. We'll come back on the other side. And when we come back, Juan Wallops Kevin Harvick is not happy. And on 777, the 07 encountered a bad luck en route to 7.
I changed my oil. Why worry about engine sludge?
You can't see sludge coming, but it can rob gas mileage and hold your car back.
Yeah, right.
Castrol GTX has a powerful formula to stop sludge in its tracks.
Give me a burger, fries.
GTX's unique dispersants neutralize sludge for superior protection among leading 5W and 10W30s.
And some extra napkins.
Castrol GTX. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
At Ruby Tuesday, great meals are a matter of course. First course, picked fresh. Second course, grilled to perfection. Third course, sweet moments with friends. Starting at $9.99. Petite sirloin, chicken fresco, Ruby Tuesday.
Can I help you?
I'm interested in getting one. Sorry. Hi, honey. How much are they there? These are really quiet, I think. So, sorry. Excuse me. How much are they there? Shut up. Billy. Yes, how much is it there?
At Lowe's, you'll always get the best price around with our everyday low price guarantee.
I'll take them.
Find a better price on anything we sell, and we'll match it plus take an additional 10% off.
How much is it there? Trust me, just buy it. Thanks.
Lowe's, let's build something together.
Use your Lowe's consumer card and pay nothing for 6 months on appliance purchases of $299 or more.
It's the AutoZone Rewards Card, and it's free to every AutoZone customer. It's simple. The more you shop at AutoZone, the more rewards you earn. So get your free rewards card today. It's our way of saying we're proud to have you as a customer. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Is your financial situation in a downward spiral? Debt Relief Solutions places you with professional debt management companies who work to help consolidate your bills into one simple monthly payment, reduce or even eliminate interest, lower your monthly payments, and pay off your bills faster. You may even qualify to get cash back for paying your bills on time. Debt Relief Solutions helps you manage the unmanageable.
Call Debt Relief Solutions at 1-800-436-0127.
Wouldn't it be nice if targeting your customers was this easy? Well, thanks to Comcast Spotlight, it is. With dozens of networks, we'll run your ads on only the shows your customers are watching. We can even let you run them in just your neighborhood for further efficiency. Comcast Spotlight. So accurate, you almost can't miss.
Let Comcast Spotlight help you reach targeted viewers in the Bay Area. In the Delta Valley, call 888-SPOT-TV1.
The 11 car decided to stop for some reason.
It blew a damn tire.
Something's wrong with the 07.
Juan Pablo Montoya pinched Harvick into the outside wall.
Let's go back to that Montoya and Harvick thing. We're reviewing the Pepsi 400 at Daytona on Saturday night. A plate race on a slick track ensures that some folks are going to go home mad. Harvick would be on that list.
This is just losing the front end, classic example. Now, you got to give Juan a little bit of credit, too, because he really hadn't done this that much. And so he lost the front end in a hurry and then ran into Kevin.
Kevin says.
Get the wall and turn. Got a lot of tire smoke, back it down. 42, if he can't race beside somebody, he needs to go back to Formula One where he can race by himself.
Drivers are so good.
Is it
quick thinking?
I just love that. I mean, that's perfect.
Is it just me, or does the pendulum of driver and fan opinions seem to have swung a little bit from, wow, it's great to have this Formula One guy here, to something more along the lines of what Kevin said.
Well, I mean, like Michael said, he's learning, you know, and I mean, he hasn't had a lot of restrictor plate races.
You won't believe, no matter what you do, how far that car will push off turn 2.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not going to hit. There's no way. Oh man, I just hit him.
The only
He's
reason,
probably going to be mad.
The only reason you cannot hit someone or hit the wall coming off turn 2 is to know what's going to happen before it happens and lift early.
Way before.
Way before. Like way before you get tight.
Because once it happens, it don't matter what you do then.
Yeah.
And so you saw that from Juan. Brian talked earlier. His car would just do whatever it wanted to sometime in the turn. That's the beauty of Daytona. That's why success there is so much so gratifying, because you know you got to battle a whole bunch of elements,
including numerology in some cases. It was July 7th, 07, 07, 07, and so a lot of people figured that Clint Boyer's number 07, the Jack Daniels car, would be worth watching, and for a good bit of the night, it was.
But why wouldn't they just figure he'd finish 7th?
It looked like he had one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest car.
I don't understand why everybody thought he was going to win. I thought he was going to finish 7th the whole time.
So he's leading some laps, and now all of a sudden the luck runs out.
Change the switch or something. Come outside. You got it going again? Yeah. Did you hit the ignition or have to swap boxes? No, I just swapped boxes. It's all right. That's all right. Just stay focused. Hit your marks. Just go back up through there.
So he did, in fact, come back up through there. Tell us about the switches and the efforts that are made to keep you from hitting the wrong button, you know, in the heat of battle.
Well, I can barely reach the switch, so I don't know how. You know, normally you're not going to hit the ignition switch unless you have a steering wheel one.
He just had a box go bad, I think.
Yeah.
He just reached up there and flipped over to the B box.
I've always thought, well, they must be the same, but they were talking on the broadcast that sometimes the A box and the B box are different in terms of performance.
Yeah, sometimes they can change the timing of one or different things, and
different rev limiter.
Yeah, different rev chip. You know, so and they may do it intentionally. They may do it. You know, you never know. So
you would, in that circumstance, toggle back and forth between the two under certain circumstances to make the car behave differently.
Well. You could. I mean, let's say that you had the gear you wanted to run. For instance, they said you can only turn 7600 chip. Okay, they put a 76 chip in there, but you felt like at the end of the race, to win the race with 3 laps to go, you needed to turn more RPMs than that. Then you put a higher chip in the B box. You don't use it the whole race because you want to blow the engine up. There at the end of the race, you switch to B and you let it eat. Hope it doesn't blow up.
Or if you got long arms, you just reach over and snatch it out.
Just pull the chip out. That's what I like to do.
When I won the All-Star race, the Wood Brothers, I started the Open, and they said, now when it gets down to the end of the race, you got more timing and a little more chip in the B box. We were in like 3 laps of the Open, and I'm like,
here we go.
I got to have that.
Going to be needing that. Hope it doesn't blow up.
And I ran it all the way, all night long, just like that.
The best part about our cars is there's no telemetry and computers, so they'll never know if you run the B box the whole time.
It's our little secret here on the INC. Both the Bush brothers spent a pretty good amount of time in the spotlight on Saturday night. Actually, in Kyle's case, all day Saturday. They are both in this next clip. This is going to be Kurt passing Kyle.
And every time we see it, we see the 26 car, eventual winner up there.
Yeah.
Working his way back into contention, of course.
Uh-oh.
Big wreck.
Rudy got loose.
Oh.
And Juan gets clear up on top of the body.
And that's not anything Juan could do there. Bobby just let off a little bit because he saw what happened. There was no way where Juan was. He could see what happened, and he doesn't even know why 43 let off.
Yeah. So we have a caution. What's the lead team going to do about tires?
All right, Pat. This is where you make your money, dude. Not sure, but I would say we need 4. Well, I think, you know, it's always been a 4-tire track, so.
Not everyone viewed it all night as a 4-tire track. Any opinions, gentlemen?
I mean, you can take 2 tires and be okay, but Daytona these days, it's in my mind, it's a 4-tire track. You can take a chance and take 2, but it's not a regular.
Well, you saw Denny last week running 7th or 8th, knew he couldn't win from there, took 2. You could do the same thing at Daytona, but if you're the guy running up front, you're probably going to want to get 4.
Yep.
You know you can get up front, you've gotten up front, and in order to stay there, you're going to need those 4 tires.
Day in, day out, all tracks considered on average, are you a tire guy or a track position guy? You're going to take 2 or 4?
That's changed over the period of time. It used to be tires. And now with the tire how hard it's gotten, there's not a lot of speed in new tires, and sometimes different tracks, new tires take 2 or 3 laps before they'll really go good. So nowadays it's mostly track position, but Daytona would be more of a tire
I would say track position nowadays, like Greg's explained it.
I agree with that.
Let's go to the pit stops and see what in fact transpired in terms of tire choices here. Here they come on pit road. I wrote down the note that says Busch takes 2. I don't think that's right.
Well, there's 2 of them. Maybe that's what you put, 2 Bushes.
Or maybe I just screwed it up. That's always a possibility.
Well, we'll see here in a second.
We know Truex took 2 because he's going to win the race off pit road.
I think everybody else got 4.
Yeah. Kurt's definitely getting 4.
There's Martin wheeling in.
And the 5's definitely getting 4. You can see him hand a tire over at the top.
Yeah.
And so I just had that wrong. The Castrol Fast Pit Stop Award to the number 1 car. And so does that mean he's the leader? Well, actually not, because the other option on the table is just don't pit, which Casey Mears chose to do in that case.
They've had some pretty good strategy calls this year with that 25 team. Yeah. So if my crew chief says don't pit, he's got my attention. I'm not coming in.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm getting a little ahead of the story, but for him, though, ultimately in the last handful of laps on very old tires, he went from leading to, what, 19th, I think. So makes your point about tires at Daytona, I guess. Yep. We'll take a commercial break. We'll come back on the other side and see one of our panel members in action. Biff with, by far, his best Pepsi 400 since he won this thing a few years back. And judged solely by this moment, you might not have picked the 38 car to finish 11th.
Friday, NASCAR on Speed whips the Windy City into a fan frenzy. When Speed parks the trucks at Chicagoland.
What a weekend for NASCAR.
We're in the pits.
I ran good all day long.
On the track.
He can't get to you.
In the booth.
They're sideways, Crawford into the wall.
And live on stage.
Yeah, monkey see, monkey do. I'm not believing you said that.
You dug it right. It's NASCAR on Speed live from Chicago. Beginning Friday, 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific. NASCAR on Speed. It's huge.
ZX6R. Race ready, street legal, barely.
I'm thinking of a number. Do you know what it is? It's 20 million. That's how many people have already checked their free Experian credit report at freecreditreport.com for some very good reasons.
Now we can monitor all 3 of our national credit reports every day.
It helps us save money and check for potential identity theft.
I got my credit report and credit score online in seconds.
Isn't it time to get your free credit report and score? Well, log on now to freecreditreport.com.
Offer applies with rolling triple advantage.
Okay, guys, I told you. Just because I got Bud on the car doesn't mean I got Bud in the car.
Oh! Terribly sorry, Outlaw.
See you later, crazy mutant desert guys.
Welcome back. We're reviewing the Pepsi 400 with Biff, Vickers, and Waltrip. No big one in the traditional Daytona or Talladega sense of the word. There were several significant crashes during the course of the night. The eventual winner temporarily disappeared with an out-of-bounds penalty. And our man Biff is having a doggone good night. Let's give the 16 car a bit of credit here. Never led, but near the lead all night, top 10.
Yeah, I got there close. I got the Dish Network car up there in the top 5. Few different times. It was fun racing with Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson, those guys on this restrictor plate track. But, you know, the track was slick, and we finally got our car to run on the bottom there toward the end.
Now, what type of handling problems were you experiencing mostly? Pushing?
Tight. Yep, push the whole night.
Did you see everybody doing that?
Most everybody. I couldn't run the bottom that much. You know, I could run the bottom for about 12 to 15 laps, and then I had to go to the top just because it would push coming off the corner like Montoya and get into the guy on the outside of you.
Did you lift?
Yes, I lifted.
A lot. I don't get to race anymore, so I'm really interested in how these guys are doing
Fascinating questions.
How they're doing it these days.
The Roush Fenway cars finished 1st, 4th, 6th, 8th, and 12th. Was the Cat in the Hat happy?
I think so. I think he was. And Tom Gant came to my shop yesterday and helped me work on one of my hot rods, and he was glowing. He's the guy that does the restrictor plate engines over at the Roush Yates engine shop. And Doug, I'm sure Doug's pretty happy today too, Yates.
Cool. Every driver in a plate race comes home with at least one near-miss story. We're going to stick with Biffle for a minute here because this was probably the nearest of all the near misses in the race. I got a restart here at lap 137. We'll get to the 16 in a minute. It's all Casey's up front at this point. Mears having stayed out, and Kane having come back from that crash.
That's amazing.
It is amazing that car ran that fast.
I love when they start to spread out and figure out how they're going to get to the front. You can see that's what's happening right there, and just about 3 wide.
Wow.
Look,
right here it was getting crazy.
How crazy was it? Well, not yet. Now here it comes.
Oh. And that guy finished 11th, is that right?
That's right.
38.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was it close, Biff?
It was close. I turned to the bottom and just kept the throttle down. Oh my goodness.
Did you know that?
I knew he was coming.
That was pretty close.
That's when you hook into the outside wall at about 180.
Well, I knew I was going to go upside down. If he caught my right recorder panel, I knew I was going to be on my roof. I mean, instantly.
I did that once, you're right.
Yeah. So I was just praying that he didn't get my right recorder panel. I kept it down and turned about as fast as I thought I could turn without wrecking myself.
That's one thing that fans always ask. When something happens around you or in front of you, you just lock the brakes up. No, a lot of times I stand on the gas.
Yeah.
I want to get by it as fast as possible.
I want to leave this scene as quickly as possible.
What's interesting with Daytona and Talladega tires, you can go like that and nothing happens.
No.
I mean, they're built so differently that they don't. You go to Martinsville and you can do that, but with these tires, you turn, and if you turn and you turn it as much as you think you need to, by the time it catches, you're going to crash.
Yeah.
So you just have to feed it to it and then say, okay, start reacting soon, please.
Yeah. And it doesn't have a lot of downforce, so that's why it doesn't react quick either. It doesn't have any downforce.
Plate racing, of course, is a high-intensity, white-knuckle business from which everyone leaves emotionally drained at the end of 400 miles. That does not, however, mean that you can't screw around on the radio and have fun with your crew. Let's listen to the 07 team as they lead the race.
Chances like a torrential downpour or a hurricane in the next 20 seconds. The lightning's really bad. I think it's dangerous right now. They ought to pull the plug on this thing. Everybody get to safety. I don't want our fans, having trouble getting home. We probably ought to call this thing. The ugly mug's on TV right now.
Joe Martin, the crew chief, obviously on the big screen. So you guys watch TV while you're driving around? Or you only do that under caution?
You can. Yeah. They have they've done such a great job at the racetracks. They have the big, huge
Nextel Vision.
Nextel Vision, and
soon to be Sprint Vision.
Yeah, Sprint Vision. Under caution, it's easy, because you can look up there for quite a while and see what's going on.
Did you feel at any point that your lives were threatened by the lightning?
I wouldn't quite say that.
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, there is rubber between us and the ground, so I think we were safe in the
probably
cars.
A good call to go ahead and finish.
Plus,
the
there's
race.
43 people that you got an opportunity.
Their odds are pretty low, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I was sitting at the top of a metal set of grandstands, I might be a little bit more concerned about it, but
yeah. Well, they elected to go ahead and finish the race, and Boyer, as noted, it finished 7th.
I knew he would.
Still ahead, an unfortunate interruption in what had been a pretty decent night for panel member Vickers. He'll explain to us how he came to end up in that circumstance. And a victory margin of 5 1/1000ths of a second. Take a bow, McMurray. We'll be back.
Your Nissan has been picked. You have built the ultimate car.
Fine-tuned with Tyson Beckford. Thursday, 9 Eastern, 10 Pacific. Only on Speed. Speed. Cars. Speed. Can you handle it?
F1 saga on Speed.
That'll grab your attention.
Looks busy at that Goodyear retailer.
Retailer? That word's a little impersonal, isn't it?
How about purveyor of innovative tire technology?
I like that.
Come into the Goodyear Freedom to Get Their Tire event now for innovative tire technology and get up to a $50 cash card by mail-in offer with the purchase of a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Or double your cash card up to $100 when you make your purchase on your Goodyear credit card. Innovative thinking up here so you can get there. Goodyear, get there.
At Mahindra, we're not real big on expensive commercials. We are big on things like better traction, heavier lift capacity, stronger parts, and everything else that makes a Mahindra tractor a Mahindra tractor. Stop by sometime at MahindraUSA.com. Mahindra Tractors. Cultivate your dreams.
I changed my oil. Why worry about engine sludge?
You can't see sludge coming, but it can rob gas mileage and hold your car back.
Yeah, right.
Castrol GTX has a powerful formula to stop sludge in its tracks.
Give me a burger, fries.
GTX's unique dispersants neutralize sludge for superior protection among leading 5W and 10W30s.
And some extra napkins.
Castrol GTX. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
Pacing the field right now is Kyle Busch up front. Kyle Busch trying to do the Daytona double in one day.
Man, he's loose way in that corner.
It's all making sense now. It's all making sense now.
Kyle Busch is still hammering that thing right down on the bottom, sideways. That's incredible.
Welcome back. We're getting down to the end of the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. We're going to pick up the action with 14 to go and a critical restart as they come down and take the green. Lap 146 with Boyer out front. And again, remember, Mears has been out there for a day and a half on those tires in second spot.
Things were going pretty well. Had to feel good about it right now. Got his teammates behind him.
07 going backwards toward the aforementioned 7th place finish.
You know, one thing that Casey said was the car was just really, really loose. Right here, you see what happened to us. Went off.
Got squeezed, didn't you?
Yeah, we got squeezed. There is. I mean, I didn't have anywhere else to go. He just ran us right into the wall. Just got in there probably a little over his head and got into us, and then once
hit you.
And then once he got off of us, he decided to hit us again. Didn't finish the job the first time. So, but unfortunately, it was too late in the race to really overcome that at that point. The car was damaged, but it wasn't that damaged. Just like we saw the 9 car. I mean, I still feel like we could have gotten some of those spots back if we had enough time. But there was 4 laps left.
Stayed on the lead lap.
Yeah, we were still on the lead lap. Changed tires, pulled the fenders out, but we had 4. It was like a green white checkered after that. I think. I'm not sure.
So you were 12th, 13th, somewhere in there. What happened and ended up what?
29th.
29th.
Yeah.
Before we get to the last couple of clips, anybody want to comment on the widely held perception that Kyle Busch didn't get much help from his teammates? He talked about it after the race. It was the subject of a lot of commentary and NASCAR.com and that sort of thing. You guys have any opinion about that?
Well, the last clip I saw the 5 in the bottom and the 24 and 48
up top
and the 25 up top. So
sometimes, you got 4 cars. You can't get all those cars to do the same thing.
Right. Well, they got 3 teammates on the top, and he's the only one in the bottom.
But
he could have pulled up top if he wanted.
So, I mean, to
me, it's just
give and take.
It's really difficult to always keep everybody in your team happy. Dale Jr. and I used to do a pretty good job drafting, but it was because we never really worried about each other. We just said, when we get to the end, then we're going to work on this deal together the best we can. But there was times during the race where he'd push other people by me, and I'm sure Brian's seen the same thing at Hendrick.
I mean, Jeff always told me, he said, listen, we'll work together when we can work together. He said, but don't hurt yourself to help me, because then you're just going to resent the decision you made. And, and it's just how it's going to be. And he goes, and if I think you picked the wrong line, I'm not going with you. That's just, he's going to do what he needs to do best for him. And I find it hard to believe that that Kyle went with his teammates every opportunity he got. You know what I mean? I'm sure it was a two-way street.
How much of it is calculated? There's my teammate. I'm going to go with him. And how much of it is, I'm going there? I mean, how much time do you have to think about that?
That's a lot of it. And I told the guys up top, you know, with 15 to go, or whenever the last caution was, or a couple before that, I said, I can only run the bottom for about 4 or 5 laps, then I'm going to the top. I told the 99, the 17, and the 26. I said, if you're looking for help from me or whatever, this is where I'm going to be. If you guys run the bottom and faster, then fine. I'm just letting you know ahead of time.
Help you.
I can't commit to the bottom.
Let's go to 7 to go, the final restart in the race. Jeff Gordon is at this point, in fact, leading the race, and we'll see how McMurray gets back to the front.
Well, I'm going to,
at this point, third.
Just looking through the highlights as we previewed it, the key to him winning the race wasn't what happened off turn 4 coming to the checker. It was about a lap before that when he makes a move up in front of Jeff Gordon going down the front straightaway. It looked like there's no way his spotter tells him he's clear. He just made a judgment that he could get over and get up in front of Jeff, and that was a great move. Right there. I mean, there's no way anyone could say he was clear because you could see the air move the car when he pulled over there. He doesn't move over in front of him. Those guys go way by him.
And for all we know, Jeff may have checked up some. You know, I mean, he may not have been clear.
Well,
and Jeff just.
I think he was barely clear because I was right behind Jeff, pushing Jeff. And Jamie just got there.
That was what won the race for him. And there's always these defining moments when you watch a race that you won. You look back and say, if I don't do that right there, right then, I'm not going to win this race. And that was the moment for Jamie.
And just in case you think that he had that precisely calculated, knowing now is the time, give a listen to this. He wasn't really sure what lap he was on.
Speed to go. This is it. This is it. Yes, sir. Come to the checker.
See, now it's against the 99, and then the 99 started to go to the top. I'm like, no, get behind Jamie.
Well, maybe the 99 couldn't help, but you pushed him in there real fast. The thing probably pushed on him. That's what you got to understand, that when a car's pushing you behind you like that, wow. I mean, you don't know where it's going to go.
How about that little side draft right there?
That's unbelievable.
That's a pretty good finish.
That's 2 pretty good Daytona finishes this year, would you say?
Yeah.
I'd say so.
I think we should redo the track.
Kyle said that he came up and made his side draft move probably a little too early and left time for Jamie to get that last little.
I probably would have been so excited I'd have done the same thing. I'd have been over there, side drafted him right away, and it's so hard to tell.
When you come off turn 4, I mean, it's hard. I mean, you're going to hold it wide open. You know, I mean, looking back on it, you'd like to say, well, I probably should use a little bit of brake, fell back a little bit longer, and then got a later side draft. It's hard to lift coming off turn 4, coming to the checker flat. I don't care who you are, you're going to have a hard time lifting.
Maybe I ought to just go as fast as I can. Right? Here are your race results.
9 times out of 10, the top guy is going to win that battle back to the start-finish line. That's what we saw in February as well.
Yep. Taking you on down through the field. There's Gilliland in 11th. After the spin, Robbie Gordon had a good night, 15th.
Yep. Somebody surprised didn't run better as Jeff Burton there. We saw in 15th or so. His car just didn't look as fast.
Yeah, and usually he's pretty good at those tracks.
And there's all your Toyotas.
Montoya, 32nd after a couple of incidents. Junior wreck. And the tail end of the field. So, what does that do to the championship? Hey, we're getting down to the end. Only 8 races left in the regular season.
Wasn't too bad on Kyle Busch. We gained a couple spots there with that second.
No changes in the first 12.
Truex lost a spot, ran 13th, but is still the highest point accumulating driver in the last 7 races. I learned that last night on Wind Tunnel.
Jamie's, that win helped him a lot. He's coming close to breaking the top 12.
Yep. We'll be back. We'll be back with, well, let's see, details of the draft, perhaps, provided in our Z-Max Fuel for Thought tonight. We'll continue our conversation about the Pepsi 400 right after this important commercial announcement.
At Ruby Tuesday, great meals are a matter of course. First course, picked fresh. Second course,
grilled to perfection. Third course, sweet moments with friends, starting at $9.99. Petite sirloin, chicken fresco, Ruby Tuesday.
I changed my oil. Why worry about engine sludge?
You can't see sludge coming, but it can rob gas mileage and hold your car back.
Yeah, right.
Castrol GTX has a powerful formula to stop sludge in its tracks.
Give me a burger, fries.
GTX's unique dispersants neutralize sludge for superior protection among leading 5W and 10W 30s.
And some extra napkins.
Castrol GTX. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
If your company's maintenance operation is in over its head, choose Fastenal to customize an inventory management system.
Fastenal, we get it right.
What do you think of when you think of HD? If you said high definition, that's correct. A true HD picture requires two things, an HD TV and HD programming. As a Comcast customer, if you have an HD TV, you can get an HD box to ensure you get your pixels worth. Call your Comcast representative to find out more. The power of Comcast is yours.
Save a wad. Sign up for Comcast Digital Voice for just $33 a month for 12 months. With unlimited local and long distance plus voicemail. Because the less money you pay, the more you get to keep for yourself. Just call 1-800-COMCAST today. Comcast Digital Voice. It's Comcast.
All right, drivers, put your thinking helmets on. It's time for your Z-Max Fuel for Thought. Since qualifying was canceled, how come Mark Martin started 12th? I know Dale Jr. was 12th in points, and he started 13th. Joanne wants to know, up in New York. How come, guys?
The difference between driver and owner points. After a rain out, the field is lined up by owner points, not driver points.
And that car that Mark is driving has been shared, so it has more points than he does as a driver.
Yes.
Makes perfect sense, right?
It does to me.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move on to an interesting email on the subject of drafting. And it begins with the business of the crash, the incident between Hamlin and Stewart. Got me wondering how easy it is to underestimate the closing rate of another car in the draft. Do drivers occasionally use the gas and the brake together to maintain their positions in a tight draft? Dan Woodley up in Canada. Gentlemen?
I think that's the best question that since I've been on the show, for somebody to think of that, because that's exactly what we do, or it's exactly what I do. A lot of times you'll drag the brake pedal, maybe come off the throttle partially, or you know, half throttle, not all the way out of the gas. And because you can push we drive with 2 feet, so you can push the brake pedal at any moment. And that's what Michael was saying. You know, the guys are running into the back of a guy. You can push on the brake pedal. My foot is on the brake pedal every lap of the entire race. You can push on that pedal anytime you want to, and the closure rate is different, but it's the same at all the racetracks. At Chicago this week, you know, the guy lifts in front of you, you're going to run him down like that. And you know, you can get to the brake, but you got to come off that gas at the same time. It's hard. You know, it's really hard to say what that guy did inside that car.
Anybody want to add to that?
I think he pretty much covered it.
Do you guys do the same?
I agree with that. I'm a left foot breaker, so there are a couple drivers that are right foot breakers, and they'll, you know, but I don't know what they do at Daytona. They probably still do a little bit of left foot braking, but I do both as well. There's situations where I'll lift at Daytona, you know, if I just want to lose a little bit of speed, you know, and I'll just crack it a bit and go back down with it. There's times when I use a little bit of brake, keep the throttle. I think it all depends on the situation, and your foot's always right there on it. So to say that you didn't have time, you know, to react is, sometimes you don't, but more times than not at Daytona, if you're drafting along and all of a sudden you realize you're closing this guy a couple feet a second and you don't lift, well, that's because you chose not to.
Sometimes he slows down faster than you estimated.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you see him, oh, he's slowing down a little bit. Well, I'm going to slow down a little bit. Well, all of a sudden, he starts slowing down a lot faster than you expected. Then it can catch you.
Yeah.
We'll take a commercial break at this point and continue on the other side with the Busch race. That's sort of a double entendre in this case, the sponsor and the winner, both having the same name. And the smoke is from the celebration. He is not having a big problem at this point.
Friday, NASCAR on Speed whips the Windy City into a fan frenzy. When Speed parks the trucks at Chicagoland.
What a weekend for NASCAR.
We're in the pits.
I ran good all day long.
On the track.
He can't get to you.
In the booth.
They're sideways, crumpled into the wall.
And live on stage.
Yeah, monkey see, monkey do.
I'm not believing you said that.
You dug it, right?
It's NASCAR on Speed live from Chicago. Beginning Friday, 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific. NASCAR on Speed. It's huge. With 18 unique Star motorcycles, there's no limit to how far you can go. We build it. You make it your own. Exclusively at your Yamaha dealer. Now get payments from $69 a month plus up to $1,000 cash back.
If you want to make your hard-earned dollar go a whole lot farther, get ready. Advance Auto Parts has the low prices guaranteed to save you money. Get ready to get the best price possible on all the parts and accessories you need with our ready-to-go low price guarantee. Nobody can beat our prices on just about anything for your car. So when you want to get more for your money while getting more out of your car, get to Advance Auto Parts for our everyday ready-to-go low price guarantee.
Ready in advance.
There's a new policy in NASCAR. You break it, you fix it. So driving for the Home Depot, naturally, I like to help. Hey, Denny, fix that fence with 6-gauge galvanized chain link. 6-gauge what? 2 gallons of Cascade White for that wall, Bobby. Exterior enamel. I gotta paint this? Tony! Fill those tracks in with topsoil, man. Good work, guys. Who's planting the Bermuda grass this time? Woo!
Let's check out the NASCAR Busch Series highlights from Saturday morning. That one got rained out on Friday along with the qualifying. And the guy in the grass, that would be your 5 car.
And they said don't do that anymore.
Well, they've said that before, actually. Yeah, that was brought up in the Cup meeting.
Oh.
Is it okay to advance your position in the grass? And they said no. And then somebody said, well, what about this morning? And they said, next topic.
That looks like that's closer than the Craven Busch finish there.
Darlington, yeah.
Closest finish ever, wasn't it? So the 5 car has a big lead.
Uh-oh.
And there's a big problem.
Wow. That one guy, I don't know how lucky he was.
There are some wrecks in this Busch race that are absolutely spectacular if they were single-car wrecks.
Yeah.
That and McMurray's was unbelievable.
Sets up a green-white checker restart.
I know one wreck that wasn't a single car accident, and that was when Stephen Wallace spun out again, and poor David Rudiman ran right into him.
That 5 car was really strong. Unfortunately, they found out after the race that I think that some of the springs were illegal in the car.
Oh, really?
What do they do about that?
I don't know. I'm not sure what they decided to do about that.
Now, did they determine that they were illegal, or did they think they were close enough to the tolerance that they needed to take them and check them?
I can't answer that.
I guess we'll know tomorrow. If there's a penalty, we'll assume they were illegal.
If there's a penalty, we'll probably know tomorrow.
In any case, he'll keep the win because that's the way it works.
Yep.
So it's Busch the victor. Take you back through some of the other finishers here.
My first Busch race this year. It was fun. It was good to be back in a Busch car.
We were running that top line together for quite a while.
Definitely on the island. I mean, we were bumper to bumper. We made a lot of gains, actually, for a long time.
How about this championship battle? Kevin Harvick now within 800 points of Carl Edwards.
That's why.
And he's not running all the races.
That's why I feel sorry for Rudiman. You know, he's third in the points. It's embarrassing to admit it.
It's a heck of a race, actually, for second, when you do the math. Oh, well. Onward. Took 166 races for Jamie McMurray to get back to victory lane. When he did, the picture of the week was spectacular. If you'd like to have that picture, send us an email. Go to the INC page, speedtv.com, use the link. Send the email with the number 26 on the subject line, that being Jamie McMurray's car number, but you probably knew that. And only one entry per email address, please. Have we covered all that, Michael?
26 emails if you want.
It's just that you won't win. With that, we'll take a commercial break.
Giving yourself a minute to think could help you make a better decision.
Think back to when you were a child. What did you dream of as you fell asleep? Space travel? Or maybe you dreamed of a magic screen you could carry in your pocket. A screen that held your favorite music, pictures, and stories, and that brought all of this to you at the speed of light. That was your dream. And with the magic of sprint speed, it all came true.
What your child brings back from an RV trip is more than you can possibly imagine. What will you discover? Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com for a free video and see an RV deal.
Oh, wow.
Wow, this is nice. It's hard to describe.
Wow.
It's like you're floating. Wow. The tension is just gone.
Every 60 seconds, someone, somewhere, is switching to Tempur-Pedic.
It feels amazing. I don't feel the pressure on my lower back as I do on the normal bed.
Soft. It's a lot better than the mattress I'm sleeping on.
Inside Tempur-Pedic are billions of viscoelastic memory cells that mold to the unique shape of your body.
It's contouring to my body.
This is great.
I have no, pokes or pinches.
Look how this wine glass doesn't tip over when this person jumps up and down. Don't try that with a metal spring mattress.
I got a lower back problem, so this thing's really comfortable.
Call now for your free Tempur material sample and deep sleep kit.
Call 1-800-781-5598. That's 1-800-781-5598.
You can't put a price on sleep.
Okay, good night now.
Call now. There's only one Tempur-Pedic.
Inside Nextel Cup is presented by Nextel, only from Sprint, helping NASCAR Nextel Cup fans get more done. And brought to you in part by Castrol GTX. Stop sludge on its tracks with superior sludge protection.
You got it! You got it! Michael Waltrip wins!
When's the last time you remember somebody starting up a new operation, not just for one car, not just for two cars, but for three cars?
Michael Waltrip, a two-time Daytona 500 winner. NASCAR, upon further inspection, punished him for using an illegal substance.
I think that they've crossed the line. It was just a terrible mistake. I know that we will get over this.
You're right, it is survival of the fastest on lucky Friday, July the 13th at 3 p.m. We know this is your favorite show, Michael. It has become even more favorite once you're in it.
I can't wait to watch it now.
Yeah, I'll bet. Okay, now I have it on good authority that it is more fun to be the star of survival of the fastest than it is to have a root canal. Is that true?
I'm going to tell you, the root canal deal, it's getting a bad rap, though. With today's modern technology, it's over that fast, and it's not that big of a deal.
Did they put you to sleep for that?
Mm-mm.
They put me to sleep.
They did?
Yeah, I told them I wouldn't do it unless they put me to sleep.
This was fun.
Do they still do the laughing gas thing, or is that old news?
I didn't get that.
Having it not.
I had a root canal once with laughing gas. I wanted another one.
Oh, see, that's the part I don't like, the needles.
Yeah, I got you.
Nah, I'm a big fan of needles.
Big brave race car driver. Do we really need to?
Ow!
Wow. Sounds like you're having fun.
No, if I had seen it from that angle, I don't think I would have enjoyed it quite so much. Did you see it go down in my tooth like that?
Was it your idea to put this in the show?
Well, they want to know what it's like to be a week in the life of Mike, and they saw it.
There it was. We thought we were going to have like a minute and a half. We just burned up a minute of that, so we have about 30 seconds left. I want to congratulate Schrader on winning the main event at Peevely, and I'll leave the other 30 seconds to you guys.
Yeah, this 11th Wednesday, July, is Portland Speedway reunion at PIR, so everybody look for that. And going to Sunset Speedway on my week off, and can't wait for that.
I want to thank Braun and Fort McDowell for giving me an opportunity to run a bush race again. It was a lot of fun.
I'm Rudiman's racing the XM car. I have a show on xmradio.com or XM Radio, channel 144.
Show's over.
At Chicago, he's racing it.